Hey guys, and welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is episode 30 of my knitting and crochet podcast here on YouTube, and thank you for 250 subscribers. I'm pretty excited to have reached that milestone, but this is my podcast all about all the crafty things that I do, which isn't very much. Today's episode is going to be real short. And I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 kids. My husband is home tonight. My 2 kids are asleep. And it is 9:20 on Tuesday, August 20th. It has been over 2 weeks since I last podcasted because I had done so before my daughter started school. And then she started school, life got busy, and yeah, I'm a week behind as normal. So let's jump into what I have finished and done in the 2.5 weeks since I last talked to you guys with the FOs that I have for this episode. None. I haven't finished anything since the last time I recorded. I was working on some socks, and I have still been working on some socks, and you're going to see those now in whips. So let's get them out. Okay. So the last time I recorded, these were just started and they were baby whips. And so now I have 1 sock each of this yarn from Cozy Cauldron Fiber Co. This colorway, the browns, tans, and creams, is called Toasted Marshmallows or Roasted Marshmallows. I can never remember if it's toasted or roasted. But that's the colorway for it. And because of my ends aren't woven in so that you can see those there. But based on my stitch markers, I'm getting ready to start my heel flap and gusset. I think the last time that I recorded, I was right there where my progress keeper is from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. I could be wrong, and I could have just placed that there to help me count my heel flap and gusset rows. But regardless, I have finished this sock since the last episode, and I have finished this one, which is in the colorway Monster Mash, also by Cozy Cauldron Fiber Co. And again, I don't know if I was right here at the heel flap or not, but it's the same progress keeper from Twin Mountain Handcrafts, just in orange, at the heel flap and gusset, which is what I'm getting ready to start for the second sock. So the contrast color on these is Gothic Smoke by Yarn Cafe Creations. And so that gets us into the counterparts, which let's go ahead and move our progress keepers because we know that that's where our progress is. So on the first sock here is Monster Mash. I have done my 20 row cuff and I have done my 30 row leg. I do 64 stitches on a ChowGoo red lace 32 inch 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. And I do magic loop. And I do that for all of my socks. Every single one of them. But that is the Monster Mash. And here is Toasted Marshmallows. Roasted Marshmallows. Roasty, toasty marshmallows. Whichever the name is. I'm not trying to be mean. I just cannot remember for the life of me what the actual name is. So we're going to put our progress keeper here in this sock as well so that we know that next time I show them, I was on the second sock at the heel flap. Which, now that I say that, I'll remember it. But yeah. But that's my sock recipe for all my socks. I do a 20 row cuff and a 30 row leg. That's what fits me the best. That's what I like. I just dropped a whole bunch of papers. And that's what I live with. So, the next thing I want to show you guys. The next thing I want to show you guys is the corner to corner blanket that I'm making in purple. You guys have seen this in pink for my sister and my niece Ivy. And this one is purple. And it is the Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn in the colorway Orchid, Amethyst, and White. And so I have worked on this blanket 5 days now. I have not picked this up since the last time I podcasted, I want to think, but it is a whip that is more frequent than anything else that I have. So that's all I have for whips, and that's all I have for FOs, which again was nothing. But I do want to get into a little bit of life real quick. My daughter asked me to teach her to crochet. And so the other night we sat in the living room and I had extra yarn, extra hooks, and was teaching her how to make the chain stitch in crochet. And I'm left-handed and she's right-handed. And so I'm watching her do it and she's mirroring me, but she's turning her hook the wrong way to try and catch the yarn, because to her, that's how I turn my hook. So it's not backwards, but it's visually backwards. So to me, it's confusing, but it's fun. It's fun to teach her the same craft that I learned when I was pregnant with her, because I had pregnancy insomnia so bad and decided to teach myself to crochet when I was pregnant with Alara. And then when I was pregnant with Emrys, I taught myself to knit. So I can always tell how long I've done each craft by how old my children are. Alara is 7 and Emrys is 4. So that's a nice little tidbit there. Then purchases. There have been 0 purchases. There's been no yarn bought at all in the month of August. Granted, it is the 20th and there are 11 days left, but there won't be any more yarn bought either. My husband, who is sitting over in the living room, is probably very thankful for that. But back into life. Alara started 2nd grade last week, and she's absolutely in love with it. She loves her teacher. She loves her school, even though she has a new principal this year. And we've resumed our walking to school each morning and walking home from school in the afternoons. And we've really enjoyed just the calm mornings and the peaceful afternoons while she's at school. And then she comes home and it's like, right now she's into the show The Fairly Odd Parents. And so that it's like fairies have exploded everywhere, because that's what she's into right now. Emrys will start school in 2 weeks. We meet his teacher next week. We already know who she is, but we get to meet up with her and give her the school supplies and stuff like that. And then he will start the day after Labor Day. So in 2 weeks, I will have the house entirely to myself, including my husband, because he is also off that day. But I don't know what I'm going to do. We will have 3 hours because his preschool is only half a day. But it's going to be very nice and very peaceful, and I'm looking forward to it a whole lot. Then, I'm back to reading my husband's series, the Lightbringer series by Brent. I am in the Blinding Knife book, and it's getting better, but it's still a really thick book to have to work through. So I think I am 23% done with the book. Actually, hold on a second. I can tell you how far I am in the book because Goodreads will tell me. Yeah, at 24%. There we go. So I am 24% of the way done with the book, and it's something that only 3 more books to go. Also, one of the reasons why I didn't get to podcast last week was because I got to go on a trip to Raleigh, North Carolina the previous weekend. I went with my best friend and we went down for a comedy show and we enjoyed it so much. Once a year we like to get together for a weekend and just go on a trip. Typically it's to see a show or an author or something. Just as best friends, we leave the husbands with the kids and we just go off together. And we absolutely had a blast. We We had a really good time in a 2-story Barnes & Noble. And I am surprised I didn't look up one yarn shop while in Raleigh, which surprises me because I should have, but I didn't. But yeah, we went to a 2-story Barnes & Noble, which was absolutely wonderful. And they had so many more books than my local Barnes & Noble, just like with the number of copies that they could keep in stock, because it was 2 stories. So it was very nice to get to wander around and see that bookstore. But yeah, that's literally it. That's all I have, was that I have been tentatively working on socks. I have been not really doing anything except playing Call of Duty. I have been playing a lot of Call of Duty here recently, but just haven't been knitting, haven't been reading, haven't been watching much TV either. Just been existing. So now that we're back to school though, back to a schedule, we can do better. So we're going to. If you want to support the podcast, you can follow the Ko-Fi link that will also be down below in the description box, along with all the yarn, knitting, bags, and stuff like that I talked about, which I didn't show you my bags. Let me do that real quick. The one bag that I have right now is my pumpkin spice latte bag from Happy Little Yarn. Orange is my favorite color, and so this bag is almost always with me. And then the other bag that I have, because I try to keep the socks separate even though both bags are big enough to hold both socks, the other one I have here is by Caffeinated Craft Mama, which is Tamara, and it's my dragons, and it's the orange as well. And yes, they are dragons and they are not wyverns, because there is a difference. So that's it. That's all I have to show. I'm gonna jump off of here and I will edit this tomorrow before the day is over, and it will be up on YouTube. So until I see you guys again, bye.